Listeners, my name is Shannon Cooney from Merrick Property Group Real Estate Agency and a very proud sponsor of the Paracave podcast. If you own a property in the Penrith LGA or Lower Blue Mountains and would like to know what it's worth in today's market, give me a call on 0421 588 445.
Broadcasting live from the Paracave. Hello and welcome to another bumper episode of the Paracave podcast. My name is Troy Warner and I'll be your host this week and every week. And today it is episode 103 and we are going back to the Parramatta Eels and celebrating players who have played for the Eels over the last 75 years. And today's chat is with a player who played 68 games for the club, mostly during the 90s, with one season in 2000. And he also spent a season at the North Sydney Bears and represented New South Wales City as well in the old City vs Country annual fixture that was on back in the day. And that player is Mr. Dallas Weston. Now, during the chat, we talk about early rugby league memories such as playing, favourite team and players, how he got to the Eels, playing with and being coached by Eels legends Brett Kenny and Mick Cronin, playing rep footy after only just 5 first grade games, moving and playing at the Bears and then coming back to Parramatta. We talk a little bit about that 98 semi-final versus Canterbury, what Dallas is up to now, and also an amazing story about reconnecting with his family and in particular his dad after an amazing 50 years. Such an inspirational story and heartwarming story, along with some common league questions and some personality questions and much, much more. All brought to you by a major sponsor, Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leagues Club in the club shop, where for a limited time, cases of Jack's Pale Ale are on special for $50 a case, so don't miss out on that one. Time is running out. And also co-sponsors, Shannon Cooney from the Merrick Property Group and the Stubby Club. And listeners, Father's Day is right around the corner, so for the best present for Dad, the Stubby Club has a huge range of sports merch and gifts to choose from. Simply head to thestubbyclub.com.au and remember, use your Paracave discount code at checkout for a 10% discount. Thank you to all the sponsors. With your support, it helps the podcast grow and reach more people, which is much appreciated. But enough of me talking, let's get into the chat with Dallas and have a listen to his rugby league and life story. And as Hindy says,
get a beer, coffee, whatever you want.
Sit back, relax and enjoy, and let's get straight into it.
Hi, it's Dallas Weston here, former Parramatta player with the Eels from 93 to 2001 and also the North Sydney Bears. Just here on a podcast with Troy from the Paracave.
And as you heard from his intro, my guest today on the Paracave podcast is a former professional rugby league player at the North Sydney Bears and the club that I also love, the Parramatta Eels. Playing 77 games for both clubs, but also representing New South Wales City and also representing Malta against Lebanon as well. A player I watched play his whole career, and with it being the Eels' 75th year anniversary in the competition, why not get another Eels player on? So welcome to the Paracave podcast, Eels player number 512, Mr. Dallas Weston.
Yeah, good day, Troy.
Thanks for joining me. Now, whereabouts did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Mate, I grew up in Marylands, sort of Marylands West. Played, obviously, I went to Parramatta Morris High School and played most of my junior footy with them till about the age of 16. And then played for Wentworthville
Okay.
Magpies there at Wenny. Played up till C grade, and in '91, I think we won the competition there against the Hills Bulls and got graded from there.
Okay.
So and just sort of played most of my junior footy, obviously with school and those two clubs.
Now, looking back, what would your earliest rugby league memory be?
Oh, geez, mate. Probably can remember playing under 8 for Our Lady Mount Carmel there.
Okay.
In the Catholic sort of convent competition.
Yep.
That was my sort of first part of footy. Sort of started my first year was when I was 8.
And growing up, growing up in Maryland, was Parramatta the team that you followed in the competition back in the day?
Actually, I followed the Tigers.
Okay.
As a young fella, and used to like watching the Tigers, but obviously Para was me sort of second favourite there, but until I sort of made the juniors and I was sort of under 21, with them. But follow the Eels now and still support them today.
Nice. Who were some of the your favourite players back in the day that you used to love to watch play?
Oh, mate, I used to love like the Balmain, like Steve Roach, Paul Sirenen, all them sort of players. The Parramatta players like Ray Price.
Yep.
Jeff Gerard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, John Mulligan. Used to watch them blokes, obviously, when they won their competitions. Peter Wynn was another one I used to sort of watch, sort of like the way he played. A few blokes I used to watch.
Yeah, legends of the game, those ones, both on Balmain side and the Eels side. Now, you mentioned there you got graded from Wentworthville to the Eels.
Yes.
As a young 22-year-old, could you believe that you were in the same team as Parramatta royalty in Brett Kenny and also being coached by Parramatta royalty in the Crow, Mick Cronin?
Yeah, no, it was a little bit surreal. It was a bit of a whirlwind. Obviously, I didn't start too many games in the 21s, and it was actually my last year when in the 21s. I got to play a little bit of reserve grade, which was coached by Bob O'Reilly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I found him really good. Give me sort of a bit of confidence there with playing a few games under him, and then got called up in a trial against Balmain at Leichhardt Oval, and then bit nervous to say the least, sort of thing. Obviously, playing against a few legends, were still playing for the Tigers then, like big Paul Sirenen, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a great experience.
It must have been pretty sort of awesome to play against one of your early childhood heroes in Ciro.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I think I was probably packing it a little bit, but no, it was good. It was, it's obviously you prepare yourself well with all the training you do. Obviously you're not going to get put in that position if the coach like Mick Cronin, and I think Ron Massey was there at that time as well. If they don't think you can sort of do that sort of job, I don't think they'll throw you in there. But no, it was good. It's really good.
What was Mick Cronin like as a coach? Because it was a little bit of a struggle for himself and the team to get success in those early 90s. And, sometimes ex-legends of the game don't necessarily make good coaches. What was Mick like?
Look, I can't sort of... That's a long time ago for me.
Yep.
But yeah, from what I can remember, my experience, Mick was quite good. He was very quiet man, very good as a coach. I think Ron Massey was there, obviously, as well, basically you could say now as assistant coach,
yep,
sort of thing. But Yeah, from my memories, yeah, like I said, it was a long time ago.
Yep.
But, he was quite good, like a quiet man. He sort of never never got too wound up or anything like that. But no, he obviously helped me out, obviously a lot coming in. Yeah, as like you said, as a 22-year-old.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Mick having a spray in him at halftime or anything like that, being such a quiet and humble man. So,
No.
nah, legend. What are your memories of your debut game against Penrith, up at Penrith, that actually resulted in a win via a field goal from Tolson Tollett?
Oh, mate, geez, you got a better memory than me, Troy. Oh, mate, from what it was just, that whole, everything was happening so quick. Obviously, coming into first grade, and I had some good players there. In Paul Dunn was probably a bit of a mentor coming up there playing. He was like a senior player there, and the other senior players, I think it was Brett Kenny, sort of started off the year but ended up retiring sort of mid-year due to injury. But just having, blokes like Cameron Blair, Mark Horrow, the blokes that have obviously played a few games and, sort of give you that confidence.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you mentioned that it all sort of went so quickly. Parramatta win the first 3 games of that 93 year, and then
Yes.
5 games into your career, you make the New South Wales City side in 93. Could you
Yes.
believe that after 5 games you're making a rep team?
No, not quite. I had to pinch myself a little bit. Very exciting, obviously. I can certainly remember those sort of moments. And just going to the first sort of introduction with other players that have you've seen play first grade, and like you said, it was only my sort of 5th, 6th game into first grade. It was a little bit overwhelming, but at the same time, it was very exciting, and was really looking forward to it.
Did that give you confidence going back to Parramatta? The fact that you played with those and against that quality of players?
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty. That first experience, I got to play City first, but also got to sit on the bench for City Origin and end up getting on the field, and playing like I said before. The players that you'd sort of been watching play first grade and sort of aspired to. You're playing against them and obviously with them. So it was very, very good. And I think Phil Gould coached that Origin side at the time, and it was a bit nervous, but you get thrown in there and you try and do your best.
I could imagine that Gus was a bit of a different sort of a coach than to Mick.
Yeah, not that I had, obviously, like I said, in the City first, I'd played that game, but not that I had much to do with Gus. It was basically just sitting on the bench back then. You could play reserve grade and sit on the bench for first grade sort of thing. Obviously, and it was obviously the same with rep footy. Do the same, but obviously, Gus is well known, obviously, in what he's done throughout rugby league. So, it was a real sort of, how can I say, honour and sort of privilege to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you don't see the City Country games anymore, unfortunately. That's off the calendar. I used to love those little mid-season games. It was like a genuine State of Origin trial back in the day. So
it definitely was. Yeah, obviously, the game's evolved the way it's gone. It's still very exciting, but definitely things have changed a little bit.
Now, in 1994, you only played 1 game. Was that due to injury or a fallout? Yeah. Okay.
I actually tore the ligaments in my ankle and had to have surgery and 2 pins
Oh wow.
put in to basically reattach the tendon back to the bone. So that sort of put me out, pretty much most of that season.
obviously that would have been disappointing and a tough period for yourself. How did you get through that? Only your
Yeah,
second year.
yeah, it was pretty good. I had support from the club, obviously back then. Obviously with their medical team, and to get you through and that. But yeah, still young and still keen, so did the right thing, and yeah, sort of got it right again. It took me a little bit. Obviously, yeah, that year wasn't the best year, but yeah,
Well, fast forward to 1995, and Super League is bearing its head around the place.
yep.
What sort of a time was Super League for yourself, only being a new first grader, so to speak?
Yeah, bit of an experience. Obviously, you got player managers that sort of take care of a lot of these sort of issues and just keep you filled in on what's going on. But yeah, it was definitely turned the game sort of spinning at that stage, because I just that year I signed to go play with North Sydney for 96, 97 and 98. So yeah, obviously I stayed loyal with the ARL at that time. So yeah, and then the end of '95 went across to the Bears.
Now, with that staying loyal to the ARL, was there ever a thought of going to Super League? Or a few of the guests that I've spoken to who played around that time said they just wanted to stay with the club that they were at because they wanted to play footy with their mates. Was that the same for you?
Yeah, well, I was going to a new club, obviously, so
Okay, yeah.
I knew some of the players, and obviously when this sort of kicked off through the 95-96 season, yeah, I'd signed to obviously with the Bears, but I was given a choice to obviously both offers, but at that point in time, I chose to stay loyal with the RL, purely the fact that I'd already signed with the Bears, so and they were part of the RL as well, so that sort of made my choice probably a little bit easier.
Now, the signing with the North Sydney Bears was that a decision from the club to get the Canterbury Four to Parramatta, or did that have any bearing on it, or that was just totally different?
Well, I didn't really know obviously what was going on with Parramatta. That year, Ron Hilditch was coaching Parramatta. Obviously, I was struggling coming back from injury, and back then in my younger days, sort of, thought everything,
Yep.
And what's best for yourself. But it's sort of, obviously the decisions I made there. It was hard leaving mates at Parramatta, but it was exciting going, to a new club. Obviously, I still remain mates with obviously the blokes that I'd played with at Parramatta, but obviously, this is part of obviously the business. That is,
Yep.
You go to another club and you form good mateships there, and some of them stick with you, and some of them obviously don't.
Was it a happier sort of vibe at North Sydney compared to Parramatta? Because Norths were consistently making finals, and Parramatta were, as I said, struggled in those early 90s. Was there like a happier vibe or at Norths?
No, not necessarily. It was always it's always good team morale, and obviously the club. Obviously they were having, like you just said, North Sydney a bit more success. They were sort of going into the market, obviously a bit more to bring in some players to the club, and trying to, obviously they're all trying to achieve a goal, is to win a premiership.
Yep.
So just sort of Probably, yeah, pretty much the same. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a happy a vibe, but they're always good, good vibes, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, winning solves a lot of problems. They certainly had some handy players at North Sydney. Billy Moore, Gary Larson, Greg Florimo, David Fairley, Benny Eichen. Who were the guys that you found yourself sort of gravitating towards, either on the field or off it?
A few, like Michael Butner came to North Sydney. From Parramatta to North Sydney as well. So, I got on quite well with Mick back then. Obviously, Gary Larson, you got to know them guys pretty well. Greg Florimo was another one I got on quite well with. Josh Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
When he was there, a few other players. You tend to get on pretty good.
Yeah.
With most, obviously, but yeah, some a bit better.
Yep. What was the best thing about playing for the Bears, such a historic club? What were your favourite memories?
Oh, just probably the location.
Okay.
You're on the North Shore, and you're training on the beaches, and not that I didn't like Parramatta Park or Parramatta, running around there, but obviously the views are a lot better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
North Sydney's, obviously, like I said, on the North Shore, so it was a different experience. It was a good one.
Now, doing some research for the podcast, I couldn't find any games played in '97. How come there's no games in '97?
Geez, mate, I have to think back.
If not, we could come back to that one if it comes to you. But I just found it.
97 was probably found it hard getting into that first grade squad for North.
Yep.
Peter Louis was the coach there. They had in their back row, blokes like we just said, like Gary Larson, Billy Moore,
David Fairley,
David Fairley. He was another great player. It was a very tough. Tony Hearn was there in the front row. First year, I think Mario was even there. That might have been there that first year. I went.
So a lot of competition for spots then.
Yeah. And I mean, you sort of got to earn your spot in there, and I tried there, but most of the games are off the bench and that sort of thing, and it was pretty much the same in. Was 97. A lot of reserve grade. Yep. I think Les Kiss was another player that was coached the reserve grade back then.
Okay.
So I got to play a few games with him and sort of got disheartened a bit. I was signed with the Bears in '98, and then got at the end of the '97 season. Obviously, we playing reserve grade, just sort of put my head down, bum up sort of thing, and kept training and got the Bears in their first grade squad had made the semi-finals and I was pulled up and made part of that squad.
Okay, yep.
Asked for a release at the end of '97, and then got the opportunity through Brian Smith to come back in '98.
And was that to obviously play first grade with the lack of playing at North Sydney?
Yeah, well, from my perspective, it was. I actually thought, mate, to be honest, I thought my career was pretty much done. It was only that Alan Wilson, who was a trainer at North, who I used to train a fair bit with, and during the season and sort of pre-season, was at Parramatta with Brian and got me the opportunity to go there and have a trial in '98 and end up staying there another 4 years.
Was it good to be back at Parramatta?
It definitely was.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, Brian Smith. Was probably the best coach that I'd been coached by in my career. Anyway, sort of taught me a whole lot more than of the game than what I'd actually previously knew before '98. Really enjoyed them last 4 years. I had a few things going on outside of footy, sort of towards the end of my career, 2001. Which sort of didn't help my causes a little bit, but so I end up retiring at 2001 was my last year.
With Brian Smith, how was he as a coach? Did he have a good spray on him at halftime?
Oh yeah. Some good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, one that comes to memory, we were playing Newcastle up there at Newcastle, and I think we were getting beat at half time. And the half time spray was probably one of the best ones I've seen. Is kicking bins and
Oh wow, yeah.
Yep, and
Was that the one with Paul Carriage and Clint Shevkovsky under fire from Andrew John's bombs?
Can't quite remember the whole game, but I can definitely remember that half-time spray.
Yeah.
I think we end up coming out and actually beating them in that second half.
Yeah, well, I
memory.
spoke with Stuart Kelly for the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and
Yep.
he remembers, I think it was the semi-final against North Sydney in '98, and
Yep.
Brian said his halftime speech, and then Brian went out, and Dean Pay stood up and said, "Don't worry about what he said. Just get out there and play footy and stuff like that." So basically, don't worry about what Brian said.
Yep.
And apparently, it pumped up everyone, and they got the job done.
Yeah, dude. Now you say, I can remember that because we actually, that was it. I think that was at Parramatta Stadium too. It was a home semi for us. And we actually end up winning that game, which was quite good.
Yeah, I think that was the classic game where Jimmy Dimmick gave a penalty away, and the referee said the penalty's against you because you hit him, and he said, "Yeah, of course I hit him. I smashed him." I always remember that. It was a great call on the commentary. But you played 3 finals games in '98, and including the prelim final against the Dogs.
Yes.
Sorry to bring that one up. That's one of my worst games as well. I've spoken to quite a few of your teammates from that game. Aaron Raper, Paul Carriage, and a few others. And I've also spoken to Darryl Halligan as well about that game.
Okay.
Now, from your perspective, what do you think went wrong to be leading a game 18-2 and then lose in extra time?
Oh dear, mate. A lot of things. Just seemed like the whole momentum of that game just changed towards the back end of it. Whether or not we thought we had it won, Canterbury obviously thought different.
Yeah.
But that game still hurts a little. But in saying, like I said, Troy, it's a long time. I can't remember the whole sort of game, but
you don't want to. Don't worry.
No, definitely, disappointing.
Yeah, no. Every time it comes on the TV, I switch the channel, and that and the 01 Grand Final, I can't bear myself to watch it again.
Yeah. The Fox still, they like throwing that one up every now and then, don't they?
Definitely, especially when Canterbury's doing well.
Yes.
Do you think, though, that those 97, 98, 99 and 2000, how much of a missed opportunity for Parramatta was it to win the comp in those years? Because they pretty much made the prelim finals every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely, obviously you don't want to be going out there losing games, but
no.
To be honest, you just, you're trying to do your best, and
Yeah.
obviously it all doesn't sort of, whether it be luck or bounce of the ball or whatever. Things sort of tend to don't go your way, and when you're on a roll, you're sort of on a roll and can do it. 2001, I thought the boys, I think won 17 games. No, we won a few games in a row then. Played Newcastle. Got beat by Newcastle in the grand final. So
Yeah, I've always said if it was 5 minutes longer, maybe Parramatta could have jagged that
come
grand
back,
final.
yeah.
But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. But the
Yeah.
2000 season started early because of the Olympics.
Yes.
Started in February and finished in August, I think.
Yep.
Was the pre-season in January? It must have been strange to be playing football in February and not March.
No, Troy. Like again, mate. That's a long time
Yeah,
ago
yeah.
for me. But obviously, back then with the coaching staff and training staff, Hayden Knowles, I think Craig Cataract was there. These blokes probably at the top of their game, sort of thing. So that they're getting you prepared to, for all this sort of stuff. Obviously, when things start earlier, obviously with 2000, there's some great memories. I think we'll have some double headers coming in there at the beginning of them seasons.
Yeah.
I think 99 was a big one. I think they wanted at the Olympic Park. They wanted to give it a pre-run.
Yep.
Prior to the Olympics, and they had a fair crowd there. That's probably the most crowd I've played in front of. But coming into 2000 with that season, like I said, the coaching staff and that always get you prepared for these sort of things.
Well, just quickly to that opening game in front of 104,000 people, that atmosphere just must have been amazing to be on the field. I think, about 6 or 7 rows from the back of one of the grandstands that day. You guys all look very small on the field, but for you to be on the field, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, it definitely is. When you first run out, you sort of look up and look around. There's probably the most people you've ever played in front of, obviously. But I think that you sort of forget about that once the game starts. Your head's sort of got to be in the game, sort of not sort of getting overwhelmed with that sort of stuff. So, but it was amazing experience looking back.
Now, you mentioned Hayden Knowles there just before, the super trainer.
Yep.
He's still going around these days up at Newcastle.
Yes, I see that.
What was Hayden like as a trainer?
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Without doubt, probably one of the best, definitely the best trainer. Oh, one of the best, I should say. I had a couple others. Obviously, in my early careers at Parramatta and the Bears with Rob Roland Smith and.
Oh yeah.
He was very good. But and Denny Harley was another one when I was at the Bears. He was sort of ex-military, and you got you pretty mentally strong. But Hayden was very good. It was probably getting trained back when I was with Parramatta under Hayden, probably the fittest and strongest I ever was in my career. Very good at obviously what he does, along with Craig Cataract.
Yeah, I think both of them are up at Newcastle, I think, at the moment this year. And Hayden's with the State of Origin team at the moment as we speak. And is there a funny Hayden story you can tell me from back in the day?
No, not really.
No?
He's very good at what he does. I thought it was quite interesting when he was coaching Denny Green there, or training, Denny Green there at one stage, and decided to put the gloves on. I actually went and watched him fight.
Okay, how'd he go?
Parallel, he did okay, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Did his best. He had to go. That was the main thing.
That's right. Yeah.
But,
champion fella, Hayden Knowles.
He is. Definitely is.
Now, before your career ended, did you have a plan in place for life after football? or an idea of what you maybe wanted to do after football?
I definitely enjoyed the training side of footy. With the juniors. Once I stopped playing, I actually got involved with that sort of stuff.
Okay.
I was very keen. A little bit of coaching with club footy, junior club footy. But yeah, sort of really enjoyed the training aspect of it. Got involved with the juniors there, with the SG Ball at Harold Matts, with their strength conditioning. I did that for a few years. Obviously, I'm a bricklayer by trade, so I sort of went back and did a bit of that. You still got to sort of bring an income in, so it was sort of a bit of a shock to the system. Obviously, being full time and then back into work. But I had a trade to fall back on, which was good.
Yep.
Which helped me out, and then like I said, tried to get into the training coaching. I ended up being the head coach at the Hill Sports High there for I think 4 years when they started their rugby league program, and did the strength and conditioning for the whole school. And then just work and to try and do that as a full-time job. The income, you're sort of you're doing a lot of hours. And like I said, the income to support a family is not great. So in the end, I sort of had to make a decision whether I thought I was going to pursue it enough at that stage of my career in terms of the coaching, the training and the coaching side of things, or work, and end up basically going back to work. So due to obviously income to support the family. And
if it wasn't for the income side of things, would you have wanted to try and keep on coaching and perhaps coach at a higher level?
It's something that I would definitely at that time aspired to, but I wasn't looking to do a head coach sort of thing, but that's something that I probably would never sort of aspire to do, but definitely would have liked maybe assistant or at the top of the strength and conditioning side of things. I still to this day keep fairly active, obviously with work. Still quite sort of labour intensive of what we do. So,
what are you up to these days? What's keeping you busy?
So 6 years ago, I started my own company, landscape, obviously civil landscape construction.
Yep.
With my brother-in-law, Brent. And basically, at the moment we work for a lot of the civil companies, mainly from say Newcastle down to say Wollongong. All sort of over the place. I have 12 employees. I have my son works for me. My son's 30 this year. So Aaron. So he works for me as well. He's one of my foremen. And we basically we build 70% of our work is retaining walls, all types. Maybe for new developments. So they're quite big jobs. It's not sort of residential. We did do a little bit of residential, but obviously we've gone away from that sort of market into the more the civil and commercial side of things.
Nice. Now, you mentioned family there, and yesterday when we were setting up this call, we got talking, and you mentioned earlier this year, I think it was in January, you met your dad for the first time after 50 years.
Yes, mate,
And you also met your sister and another brother as well.
Yes, that's correct.
That sounds like an amazing story. Tell us about that experience.
Yes. Yeah, it's still a little bit of a little bit surreal, but it's something obviously most of my younger life and obviously my whole life wanted to know who my father was. I grew up without a father. Mum was quite young when she fell pregnant with me. I think Mum was 15. She had a sort of brief relationship, and then obviously growing up, she obviously met my brother, his father, and married him. Growing up, obviously thought that he was my father, but he passed away in 77. It was sort of Mum bringing us up with me and my brother, and like I said, something I've always sort of wanted to know who my father was, and I've tried a couple of times to try and find him, and turned 50 last year, and I didn't think I'd probably given up a little bit of hope, and my wife Michelle got me ancestry. So I did an ancestry test, and probably about 3 months, that would have been last year in around May. So I got some results back in, say, August, and found out that I had a positive, that I had a biological father who obviously came up. So, getting back to meeting him, I basically wrote him something through Ancestry, and we started communication that way, and things sort of gained momentum. And long story short, I end up taking my family down to, he lives in South Australia in a town called Port Augusta.
Oh, yeah.
Went down to meet him, and that was just a great experience. Like I said, I found out I had a sister and another brother, and everything seemed to click, and they've embraced us and my family, and vice versa sort of thing. And we communicate every couple of days now. So he's been up. Yeah, he came up in May to stay here for a week, spent some time with us, and my brother came up as well with his family around Easter. So
nice.
Got to spend some time. So it's all worked out pretty well. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's
a
an
lot
amazing
better than
story.
It is. It's incredible. Like it still feels, like I said, a little bit surreal. Like obviously not knowing who he was for 50 years, and finally getting to meet him, and catch up on a lot of things, and a lot of family history on his side. And just to have his family embrace myself and my family, and it couldn't have worked out any better.
That's nice. Great story. Yeah, well,
it is.
Christmas time this year will be a big occasion then, no doubt.
Yes, definitely will be.
That's nice.
Definitely. Obviously he lives in Port Augusta, so it's sort of don't get to see him as much as I'd like to. But I talk to him every couple of days through Messenger on Facebook. We have a good old chat and catch up. And
nice.
Like you said, I've got to spend some time, and obviously a lot of photos have been exchanged, and he's got to see obviously what I've done in terms of my footy career, and it's a bit of a shock to him. It's.
What did he? You said there he saw what you did in your football career. What did he say about your football career, knowing that this was the first time that you met him?
I think he's a bit surprised, to be honest. He's definitely, he has told me, obviously we've gone in depth with a few things, and he would have liked to have seen me play, but obviously, you can't change the past. It's we look forward to the future at the moment. He's very proud of what I've achieved through footy. and what I do now in terms of family, and yeah,
That's good.
it's working quite well. Yeah,
Good to hear. I guess a little moral to the story is just never give up, I guess.
that's it, mate. Yeah, I was pretty close. I'd
Yeah.
probably 95% of loss. Basically the ancestry was to find my other half of my heritage, or I knew mum's Maltese.
Okay. Yep.
So I knew all that side of the family, but to see what my other part of my heritage was, and got to know a lot more. So it's been amazing. It really has.
Because you also played for Malta as well, wasn't it, against Lebanon?
Yes.
And that was in 2006. How did that come about?
Well, gentleman back then, Joey Grimer. I think
yes,
he was
Joey,
assistant coach. Yeah, a few sides. I think he was at Cronin with last with Shane Flanagan and that. So Joey decided, obviously being of Maltese heritage, when I retired, he wanted to form the Maltese rugby league side.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got to play. I think the first game was against the British Defence Force. Was our basically a trial in that, which we won quite well. But Joey did a lot of work. So did a lot of other people outside of that to get it up and going. But Joe was the sort of the main sort of drive behind getting the Maltese rugby league sort of set up.
Yep.
In that game, I actually ruptured my bicep tendon.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, so that sort of put an end to my playing career. So you had to have surgery after that to have it reattached, and basically, obviously we're not earning an income.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of hurts you a bit. So you obviously got to make that choice whether you keep playing on, you get better and keep playing on, or you commit to work. So I had to do what I had to do.
No, it must have been a proud moment to represent, as you said, your mum's side of the family, and play international football as well. And Joey Grime is a great bloke. See him every now and again at Parramatta these days, and champion fella.
Definitely. I was very proud too. Sorry, Troy. Very proud too. My son got the chance to play for Malta as well.
Okay.
So very proud moment to see him also play for Malta, which was good.
How does he go as a footy player compared to yourself?
Mate, he still plays.
Okay.
He's 30. He's 30 this year. He plays up on the Central Coast.
Yeah.
I think for Terrigal. I think they're Terrigal Shah.
I think it's Sharks.
There. Yeah. So he still runs around, but I always told him that he was much more talented than me. But obviously you need the commitment to want to sort of progress. But he's enjoyed it. He's obviously grown up with it. I've got to coach him.
Okay. Yeah. How did that
go? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't too bad. But obviously I haven't coached him for a long time now. I think the last time was C grade. Was the last time I coached him, which would have been under 18s.
Yeah.
So, he still enjoys his footy.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Good.
Well, I've got some common league questions brought to you by the Stubby Club. If you head to the Stubby Club, www.stubbyclub.com.au, and use the discount code PARACAVE for 10% off your purchases. Other than your home ground, did you have a favourite ground that you used to love playing at?
No, not really. Parramatta, no? Probably Parramatta with obviously what you said, Para Stadium the best, but no, I didn't look forward to going to Canberra. It was too cold, and
that commonly gets mentioned.
Yes, but some cold nights there.
Even from a fan's perspective too, like me, going down there, it's too cold.
Oh, it is. Yeah, there's one night there. I don't know if you remember. We played. I think it was the last time Balmain before they merged years ago at Leichhardt, and it was absolutely pouring. That was probably one of the worst nights. I think we didn't even coming off the field. We just jumped straight under the hot showers, mate. It was freezing.
It's
one of
actually
the coldest nights.
Yeah, it's actually funny you mentioned that because I was at that game and I've been to Canberra many times, and I think that was my first time at Leichhardt. And as you said, it was windy, it was raining, and it was freezing. It was the coldest I've ever been. And as I said, I've been to Canberra a few times, but Leichhardt was colder that night. And I went with mates, and a mate used to run a pub just close by. And the first thing we did when we got to the pub is just run near the fire to warm up. But it's funny you mentioned that one. Just on Parramatta Stadium, and it's now Combank Stadium. When that parachant goes around the ground, what does it do for the players on the field? What did it do for you on the field?
Oh, mate, I think when you hear supporters, fully supporting, it definitely lifts you,
pumps you up,
Oh, definitely. No, it used to be very, very inspiring sort of thing. Yeah, when the chant used to come out and across.
Nice. Who didn't you want to be tackled by? Who was the hardest hitter, do you reckon?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Probably, getting back to, like I said, when I first came in to first grade, I remember in them games with, like I said, with City and playing City Origin. That first hit up, I ran straight into Paul Harrigan.
Ooh,
and sort of, I wasn't running that way again.
Smart.
So the big chief he was a big man. So it was always, when you're coming up against the Broncos as well, back then it was Brad Thorne and, obviously Gordon Tallis and, Shane Webke, they're not going to, take it easy on you sort of thing. They're going to give it to you. So,
definitely hard men, those
the
ones.
tough blokes to run into.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you played with and against some champion players during your career. Is there someone that you would have loved to have played with or even against during your career?
Oh, geez. No, I didn't really look at that, mate. Probably, if you ask me the best players I played with, that'd be quite hard. But probably one that would be at the very top of they just pipping them would be Dean Pay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, very inspiring. Running out before a game. You could see the other teams, the intimidation just with Dean and just his leadership.
Yeah.
Obviously back then, I was obviously there when Dean retired his last year, and it was probably a sad thing. Such a great player, but it was probably one of the players I really, obviously the big four who you mentioned before were great. Jason Smith was another one. Jim Dimmick was another. If I go back early in my career, although like I said, Paul Dunn was just a tough, great player. And Mark Horrow, them blokes.
Yep.
Good players to play with.
Yeah, definitely. Who did you find in your team? So the opposition was a big pest on the field or sledger?
Oh, mate, there was a lot of sledging going on back then.
Cheeky halfbacks.
You're playing against. I remember, a couple of trials up at Nelson's Bay against Newcastle. In the younger days, Matty Johns and Andrew Johns. They're quite cheeky. Again, a lot of banter used to happen between sides, especially in the scrums and in the ruck sort of thing. So you sort of gave as much as you copped.
Yeah,
You tried to
fair
anyway.
enough.
So,
What about at Parramatta? Who was the larrikin or prankster at Parramatta, and what did they do? What was their signature prank?
oh no, mate, again. Geez, I don't know if we got really pranked that much back then. Mate,
I've heard
just
Mickey Vella's name gets mentioned a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely Mick. The other one, probably a really good bloke to play alongside Troy Campbell. Was pretty happy.
Smiley, yeah.
Jovial bloke, yeah, smiley. Always having a laugh, and just a real good bloke to be around. And a few of them blokes, just off the top of my head, all of them were great blokes. Obviously that I played with through the career, but you sort of put me on the spot.
Nah, that's okay.
There,
that's fine. Troy Campbell's a great bloke. I've had the pleasure of watching a few Eels games up in Queensland with him, and he's doing great things for ex-Eels up in Queensland with the was it the Blue and Gold Alliance up there? Queensland branch. But great bloke. Great bloke.
Champion, mate. But Mick, young Mick, obviously I was coming to, towards the end of my career. Mick was only a young fella, but he was definitely a prankster, bit of a larrikin.
Yeah. Now, to wrap things up, I've got the personality questions brought to you by Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available in the club shop at Parramatta Leagues Club. What's your favourite sport outside of rugby league? What do you enjoy watching or even playing?
Playing cricket. I used to like playing a bit of cricket. Sort of played a lot of sports when I was younger. Mainly the two, cricket in summer and
footy
in winter. Didn't mind, but I enjoy all sports. I used to play squash and don't mind. I'm probably not that good at tennis, but I don't play that much golf, although I don't play too bad, I suppose.
Yeah.
A couple of times a year.
I'm a hacker, mate, so don't worry about it. It's all good. What's your specialty dish in the kitchen or on the barbecue?
Oh, schnitzel, mate.
Ooh,
Still one of my favourites. I don't mind a good schnitzel.
Nice.
Wife tends to make it from scratch, which is good.
Oh,
so,
even better.
So it's probably one of my favourite.
Now, this question is probably a little bit sort of hard for yourself because talking about your dad, you've already met him, but is there a famous person in the world that you'd love to meet and have a chat with?
Oh, jeez.
Because for the last 50 years, you wanted to meet your dad and have a chat with him.
Yeah, definitely. If there was a famous person, I reckon probably. I don't mind watching the Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh yeah.
He's very good in what he does, and you see a few things on telly and that sort of thing. I wouldn't mind meeting the Shaq. It'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's coming out later this year. I think to Australia. I think so.
Yeah, I think I heard that on the radio. It's coming out.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't go along the rugby league path, what profession do you think you would be doing?
I'll be working, mate, doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah. No, that's
probably,
fair. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, when I left school, I straight into a bricklaying apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So. Did my trade there, and before I came full time, I was still working up until then. And like I said, I don't do bricklaying now, but in terms of what we sort of do is sort of in the construction side of things. So I sort of pretty much work at the moment is probably my life.
Yeah.
Obviously with the business and keeping everything going, it sort of keeps you busy. And when you got a few boys, keeping on top of everything. Going through, obviously, with all the rain we've had, it sort of didn't help us out. But, it's never a dull moment, put it that way.
No, it doesn't sound like it. Now,
No.
with COVID travel restrictions sort of easing these days, where is the place in the world that you'd like to get back to for a holiday when you can? What's your favourite holiday destination?
Well, I went to Bali a few years ago. I didn't really want to go, but my wife and my daughters, they wanted to go. And I sort of kicked and screamed a little bit, but, I'm not going to like this. I'm not going to like this. But I really enjoyed it. I went there. Place we stayed at was nice. It wasn't sort of near Kuta or anything. It was a little bit away.
Okay, yeah.
I loved it. The weather, the people, obviously the lifestyle was great. I'd love to go back there again.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Malta. I've never been to Malta. So like I said, mum's side of the heritage. Yeah, I'd love to go there one day.
Yeah, add that on the bucket list.
Yes.
And the last one, who is your favourite band or solo artist to listen to?
Oh, jeez. You put me on the spot again. Oh, mate. Well, I like all types of music, to be honest, yeah.
What's that one song that comes on the radio and you just turn up and have a sing-along to?
Oh, jeez, mate. There's a few. I couldn't really pick one, Troy. Yeah, I mean, I've been to a few concerts. I've been to see AC/DC. A few others, mate. I've been to see Elton John. He was quite good. I can't really pick. I couldn't give you one. I sort of like. Got the radio always going at work, so I couldn't give you one there. There'd actually be probably a few.
You probably couldn't give me this answer too. What's your favourite AC/DC song then?
Oh, jeez.
So many.
Jailbreak, probably. Yeah.
Nah, that's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah.
Well, Dallas Weston, thank you very much for your time and your chat today here on the Parrot Cave podcast. I really enjoyed it. Appreciate your time. I'm sure the fans will love it too, because as I said to you yesterday, I've had a few listener requests, so it's been great to catch up and talk to a player that I watch play their whole career, and I hope one day to catch up and say g'day and listen to more of your rugby league stories. So Dallas Weston, thank you very much for coming on the Parrot Cave podcast today.
No, thank you, Troy. No, it's been a privilege, mate. Sort of haven't been involved with footy for a long time, and it's been really good to have a chat with you.
This is Para, a place of gathering since time began, where saltwater meets fresh, where our history meets the future. The centre of Sydney, the pride of the West, united by the blue and gold. This is paradise. The 22 Eels season and memberships are now on sale. To find your place in paradise, head to paraeels.com.au today.
Well, welcome back, and thanks for listening to Dallas and his rugby league and life story. Dallas was one of the players that I watched growing up following rugby league and the Eels, and those stories in his chat brought back some great memories for me as a rugby league fan and a Para fan, and I hope they did for you as well, the listener. And that chat about reconnecting with his dad, wow, that was an amazing story, and just shows you that if you're looking for someone or something, just never give up. Thanks, Dallas, for sharing that one, and we wish you and your family all the best in the future with those family catch-ups. And thanks, Dallas, for your time and chat. I hope to catch up one day and say g'day. Once again, a quick shout-out and thanks to Jack's Pale Ale, a fantastic major sponsor of this podcast, for supporting the podcast. Please support them like they support me by buying yours, available in the club shop. Don't forget, it's only for a limited time, so get in quick for that $50 a case. Get in quick. Thanks also to co-sponsor Shannon Cooney from the Merrick Property Group. You can contact Shannon for all your Penrith and Lower Blue Mountains real estate needs, either if you're buying or selling. And also, thank you to the Stubby Club as well. Don't forget to head to that website, www.thestubbyclub.com.au. Order your NRL merchandise today, use the Paracave discount code and get 10% off. Please support these businesses that support the podcast, that help bring you quality entertainment each week. Share the love on socials as well. Thank you once again to you, the listeners, for listening to Matt Sears and his rugby league and life story. A player that I really enjoyed watching growing up following rugby league, and I really enjoyed listening to Matt's story. I hope you did too, and if you missed it last Monday, simply head back to the episode list and check it out. Thank you to those who did take a listen to Matt's story, for listening to it and also sharing it with your family and friends. I really appreciate the support. And please, if you liked it, please give it a 5-star rating and review on the podcast platform you listen to. It would be most appreciated. Also, don't forget, if you want to hear more talk about the Eels, don't forget to tune in to the Talking Para podcast, a podcast that I'm involved in with 3 other Parramatta fanatics, chewing the fat each week about the Eels. We review and preview the Eels games each week and also make a few predictions as well, like the score, first try scorer, and a bold prediction. A bit of fun each week, so tune into that one. That's the Talking Para podcast. And finally, you will be able to catch myself on Pulse FM 89.9 each week on a Friday and a Sunday, talking NRL with the Duckman himself on Duckman's Weekend Sports Wrap show. It's usually about 6:20 p.m. each week on 89.9 FM radio, or it's also on the iHeart Radio app. So if you want to hear me talking about NRL, tune in and have a listen. And thank you once again to the official media partner of the podcast, the Parramatta Times. For all your local Parramatta news, simply head to www.parramattatimes.com.au. Stay safe wherever you are listening from in this world of ours. Have a great week as best you can. Stay warm, especially if you're in Australia, in Sydney, New South Wales, Canberra, all those cold places, Victoria. Stay as warm as best you can. I'll catch you next week for episode 104. Stay tuned to the socials though to see who is coming up next. And once again, if you want to send me a message on socials, by all means, go ahead. I'm always up for a chat about the greatest game of all, and the Parramatta Eels as well, or who you would like to see come on the show for a chat, and I'll see if I can get them on the show. And to sign off the show, and as I always say, the Paracave podcast, by the fan, for the fans. Go Para!